All right, this is part 5 of your Microsoft Excel certification test review. All right, and we're just gonna keep plowing right along because we still have a lot to do. We're on number 32 if you're following along with the questions here on the invoice worksheet. So we're gonna go ahead and click on the invoice worksheet. Add a chart title to the chart on the right of the data. So the chart on the right of the data. Rename this chart title first week invoices. All right, so I'm going to say chart title, and then I'm just going to go ahead and click in there, and I'm going to go ahead and backspace, and we're going to call this first week invoices. Yep, everything is capital, just to make sure. Okay. And this is a weird one to do in Microsoft Office 2019. All right, it says number 33 says import the contents of more cars CSV into the cars worksheet. So let's go to the cars worksheet right here. Beginning at cell A11, choose comma as the delimiter and accept all other defaults. All right, and the easiest way to do this is to use this this method called sorry, not file tab, under the data tab, called import text from legacy. All right, so let me kind of show you here. This is my file. This is where they want me to import it. I'm going to go to the data tab, and under get data, I'm going to use this thing called legacy wizard. Normally I wouldn't use this method. I would just say from file, or I would actually click up here and I would say from text CSV file. But it seems to have changed a lot in 2019, and if you use that method, it will insert a new table, or your other option is to put that data file that you're trying to import in here onto a whole new worksheet. And then I guess you could copy and paste it, but if you want to turn on that legacy thing, then go to the File tab and go to Options, and you'll see under Data that we have a whole legacy data import wizard section, and you can go ahead and turn them all on if you want, but you only need this one, and then say OK. That way you can just kind of import data the good old-fashioned way from text. You're going to go ahead and say more cars. You're going to say next on step 1 of the import wizard. On step 2, you're going to go ahead and uncheck tab, and you're going to say comma because it says use comma as the delimiter or separator, and then go ahead and say finish. All right. It's going to shrink down your table, and it's going to do something called autofit as far as the contents go, and that's fine. That's what it wants. I know it looks real weird, but you can go ahead and stretch out your columns again. It autofits it to the data that you have imported, so it's going to start hiding some of the data that was already there. Alright, and you're more than welcome to stretch it out, but you know, on the test you don't have to do that. It's a timed test. Just move on. Import your data and move on. On the invoices worksheet, this one right here, add a row to the table to automatically calculate the total. Alright, so we're going to click on our table. Under Table Tools Design, we're going to click on Total Row, and that's it for that one. Resize the first week invoice chart so that it covers cells H3 through N1. Alright, so here's our chart. I'm going to click on the border of my chart and just kind of make sure that it's covering cells H3 through N1. Alright, and it is going all the way over to N. It's also going over to O, so I can shrink that down a little bit if I want to. And it only needs to go down to row 11. You know, so it's pretty small the way they want me to resize it. I think that would do right there. Nope, I need to go down a little bit now. It has to cover row 11. Kind of like that. And I need to go over just a little bit there. Alright, and that's that question. I know it's real weird, but that's what they want. Move the chart on the invoices worksheet to a new chart named Invoice Amount by Client. Alright, move the line chart. So here's our line chart. We're going to right click on it, and we're going to say move chart, excuse me. We're going to put it in its own sheet, and we're going to call it Invoice Amount by Client. And say OK. And it's going to jump into a new sheet, and it's going to be super huge. Yay! And then we have 4 worksheets at the very bottom of our workbook. Alright. Let's see. On the sales by car worksheet, modify the sales by month chart to show months as the horizontal axis and car types as the series. So this is a really weird question because usually when you click on a chart, you can just go over here to say switch row column. The problem with this chart is that when it was inserted, and I'm just going to go ahead and press delete, it wasn't inserted with this data, or at least it doesn't display this data. So let's go ahead and select our text, our table here, and let's just go ahead and insert a new chart. And let's go ahead and fix this little problem before we try to switch row column. Alright, so when you click on a chart, always, you're going to see the data that is being displayed in the chart from the actual table. So see how I have this blue box right here? If you were to click on the chart that's originally in this workbook, you wouldn't see that. Alright, and up here I can just say switch row column, and now the months are the legend and you know, the sports family, Hunchback Luxury, and all that. That's my series. Alright. On the cars worksheet, convert the table cell to a cell range. Keep the formatting. So cars worksheet, here's our table right here, and they say they just want us to convert it to a range, which means right here, basically we're just going to take away the table functionality. It's still going to look like a table, but it's not a table. On the sales by car worksheet, filter the table data to display only months, May and June. Alright, and that's an easy one. Let's go ahead and go all the way up. Under months here, I can click my filter arrow, deselect everybody, and just put a check for May and for June, and say OK. Alright, and it also changes my chart. Number 40, on the invoice worksheet, modify the chart. So invoice worksheet, modify the chart to display amount as the primary vertical axis title. Alright, so we're going to say axis titles. They only want the primary vertical axis title, so we're going to go ahead and turn off horizontal, and they want us to call it amount. Okay. On the invoice worksheet, display the amount as data labels above each data bar. So again, data labels are a thing that you can add right here, and then you're going to see an option, and one of the options is going to say outside. Oh, there we go. Outside end. Alright? Just like that. And that's it. That's it for part 5. We're going into part 6, which is called faculty contact list. Alright?